Okay, for the last one, negative log negative x plus 2. This time I have two negatives. Okay, so because I have two negatives here, the graph is actually flipping twice. The negative is already factored out for us, so we don't need to worry about rearranging anything at all. The order is fine. X comes first, positive number in front of the x. We're ready now to talk about the graph. What we know about first is that the graph itself is going to move two places to the left. And so that means that your vertical asymptote, instead of being at 0 like it normally is, it got moved two places to the left because of the plus 2 that's on the inside there. Now we have to figure out how the graph is going to look. In order to do that, we need to figure out what these negatives are doing. So here's the original graph. And what I want to do is I want to apply the negative on the outside and apply a negative on the inside. So I'm going to make a sketch over here. If I apply the negative on the outside, that's going to take the graph and flip it down that way, which means that the graph itself is going to look like this. So this would be y equals negative log base b of x. It's going to look like that. Well, now I want to apply the negative on the inside. That's going to take this graph and it's going to flip it this way over the vertical. So we actually have two flips happening on here. When we do that, when we flip that over the vertical, then the graph's going to look like this. So this would be the y equals log base. This is going to be two negatives, negative log base b of negative x. That's what this graph down here would be. We took the original graph, we flipped it over the horizontal axis because the negative on the outside, we did that, and then you're going to take it and flip it over the vertical, and that's where you get the two negatives from. Now notice that the graph is going to be crossing one to the left of your vertical asymptote. Here's your vertical asymptote right here. The graph is going to cross one to the left, which means it's going to cross just like that. My real answer, the real answer graph I'm going to have, should look just like this model. It's going to come along here, it'll hit that dot and go down that way. Here is your x-intercept. It crosses one to the left of your vertical. That's going to be at negative 3. Okay, so negative 3 is your x-intercept. Your domain is talking about all the x values that the graph is using. That's going to be from negative infinity all the way up to 2, negative 2 there. So it's going to be negative infinity all the way up to negative 2. We're not going to stop it at the x-intercept. A common mistake would be to have it from negative infinity to negative 3. You don't want to stop it there because there's more graph that is used in between negative 3 and negative 2. Now we can't include negative 2, which is why we have a parenthesis, but there's a graph that does exist there, so we have to show that going all the way up, and we will be including numbers all the way up to but not including negative 2, which is why we have that as our answer. So be careful you don't accidentally put the x-intercept. It's got to go all the way up to the vertical asymptote on that one.